am Liz, I'm a pagan, and this is my sacred space. I've been using this greenhouse since we moved back to the UK last summer, and it's, I would say, constant work in progress. It changes all the time. I was gifted it in a way by my dad. We're staying with my dad, and he was aware of the fact that I needed a space to be in, or would have liked a space to be in, to be contemplative and so on. The one caveat that the plants had to stay, and I water them to make sure that they stay alive. There's a nectarine tree in here, grapevine, and a fig tree, and they all fruit. And in addition to that, you'll see columbines and Welsh poppies growing, and various other little volunteers, which are, I think, another part of what makes this such a special place. Because it's glass, as all greenhouses are, there is this wonderful mixture of being outside with nature all around me, but also feeling very much protected or held within that space too. You know, it keeps the wind and the rain off to some extent. And I can just sit here and watch birds fly over, see the trees move, and hear nature just do its thing. And that just in itself is really special. I have various spots in here. What I've tried to do is make it a mixture of a working kind of space in terms of ritual, which means that there's, you know, bits of paraphernalia that I might use in ritual or I might use in spell work. And then also have like an actual altar that is what you see when you come in. And that is really special. It changes over the seasons. At the moment we're in spring, kind of Beltane, Ostara Beltane, so everything's a bit lighter coloured, you know, so I do kind of change the colours and the little kind of items, ritual items, as the seasons change. It's also a little bit of a gallery stroke studio, so I do a lot of embroidery and other types of art, and I'm often inspired by my pagan tradition or my pagan path. So you'll see some embroideries that I've done. There's this triptych, triple moon piece that I'm very pleased. It's the most recent edition. And I've also got these little flags that I made last year. The flags are really special because they have embroidered onto them obviously the elements and various other pagan symbols, but they've also added some buttons and shells and things, and the buttons are inherited. I got them off my mum who passed away, and I think she was a big sewer. She loved to make stuff. I definitely think that's where I got my desire to be creative from, and so I really love that I have those things around me. I came from North Carolina last year, and I'm so glad that I packed up and brought all my ritual stuff, including some things that you wouldn't find here. So I have a skull that's from a groundhog, and I have a magnolia pod from where I worked, and a few other little things. There's a snake skin from a rattlesnake, obviously something you wouldn't find in the UK. some cicada shells. Again, we don't have cicadas in the UK. I really cherish that and carry that spirit of that land with me, because that was where I developed a really powerful relationship with the land. It does rain in here, so sometimes I have to be careful about what I keep in here. So wooden things tend to get a little bit mouldy, so at least in the winter I do sort of take some of that stuff away. I do have to keep things wrapped in plastic, which isn't very aesthetically pleasing, so I do kind of cover those things up. I always make sure that I have to hand items that I know I'm going to want to use regularly. So there's always a couple of lighters in here. Incense is wrapped up and put into plastic, as is charcoal. There's always a few little kind of knives or little utensils to kind of mix up things like soot, or I collect ash for spell work, and I also collect up eggshells to make witch bottles and so on. It's really important, I think, that you have to hand any kind of items you might need. So there's candles, there's little dishes everywhere. So it's sort of a mixture of reverence, but also kind of has a more practical side, which very much speaks to how I feel about the craft. This is rosemary, and I use it for incense. It's all dried, and then I just pick a little bit off and put it in my cauldron over some charcoal. I think it's important to make a space for yourself wherever you are. Obviously, this isn't possible for everyone. And in the future, you know, as we move on from my dad's home, this place won't be so accessible to me, and I have to really enjoy it while I have it, because eventually we'll be moving on, and that makes me sad that I'll lose this, but hopefully I'll find something else that I can use as a sacred space. But I feel incredibly lucky to have it. Just being in here, I think a lot of the times when people get involved in paganism and witchcraft, they feel like they have to do a lot of kind of elaborate things. I have found that as I've gotten older and leaned into my paganism, I feel less like it's performative, and it's more very inward and contemplative. I do some magic work, and I usually do it for people I feel who need some help. They're my friends. I don't do anything other than that, and I do it in the full knowledge that they want it and would receive it. A lot of it is more kind of contemplating, maybe reading, maybe, you know, sitting in the space and just enjoying it. And I think in the quiet, that's when you feel like your bond with the divine is there, and that kind of spiritual aspect really comes out.